Welcome to the SHA Podcast, presented by Direct West.
Welcome to the first installment of the SHA Podcast, presented by Direct West. I'm your host, Jake Murray, and we're talking big changes coming to the novice hockey this season. Implementing novice half ice. Games will be played from red line to goal line with a skill zone on the other half of the rink until January 1st, when associations have the choice to transition to normal full ice games or stick with the half ice format. Joining us today are Jordan Trach and Blake Tatchell from Trach Power Skating, an official SHA skills and skating licensee, to discuss the changes. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, you bet.
So let's jump right into the hot topic that's got everybody talking this week, and that's novice half ice. We've seen the change from full ice to cross ice at initiation level, but now it's moved up to the novice half ice format. What are you guys' initial thoughts, and how do you guys feel this progression will help with player development?
I mean, originally I didn't know, I was a little bit confused by it off the start, so I didn't know what to think about it. And the more info that I got about it and, the more I thought about it on how it's going to help develop players and the long term for players, I really like it. I think that, it's going to be an adjustment for a lot of people, and, it's not necessarily what older guys are playing for hockey. Typically we play on a full sheet, but for these younger guys, I think there's a lot of things that they're going to learn, and it's going to help with their development long term for sure.
Like, because we're seeing a lot more that it's not so much the fastest skater that can skate in a straight line anymore. It's a lot more edge work, a lot more small ice puck battles, and a lot more skills that are being used in the small ice surface rather than a full ice.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just the biggest thing. I think from a skills side of it too, you're going to see a lot of kids start to touch on different areas of their game that they don't get to when you're just talking about more of that straight linear, straight ahead speed. You're going to have to make those quicker moves, those quicker decisions in tighter areas, and I think that's going to be something that a lot of kids need work on, is more puck touches at a young age, getting that confidence, and most of all, just having more fun, being more involved in the play.
For sure. Now, what are some challenges that you guys see facing people with the transition from here, and what do you say to people who are reluctant to that change? Are parents too focused on their own enjoyment or how they used to do things and not focused enough on development right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, it's going to be a transition. I mean, people are just going to have to be open-minded about it and trust the process and try to look past this 1 year or 2 years of novice in the sense that, the change is a good thing. Right now, the kids that, pick up the puck behind the net, skate all the way down, score 7 goals a game, that is not going to translate to the next level. And,
for sure. Right now, it's great for a kid to score a ton of goals and have a ton of success, but reality is, you start to see those gaps close on your elite players once they get to Pee Wee and Bantam, and they can't do what they had success with in novice. They can't skate the puck 200 feet, go and score. They've got to find different ways to generate offense or to get the puck out or, and it's just not pick up and carry. So I think the earlier we can start teaching kids that there's more to the game than just skating at 200 feet and shooting, the earlier we can teach them, the more they're going to benefit at an older age, because they're going to have to work on working in tighter areas, generating offense in different ways. For sure. So now you guys work with NHL and pro players in the off season at Trach Power Skating. Are there any similarities to what you guys teach them as to what you would teach a 7 or 8 year old that's on the half ice environment?
Absolutely, yeah. It's kind of funny actually, because when the pros are out there, you always have some kids that's always attractive to watch the pros, and they're seeing the drills that they're doing. And now obviously there's progressions and regression involved in each drill, but a lot of the drills are all developed in small areas and tight areas. And I think, you can structure a practice in a similar way, just from the young kids all the way up to the pro level. And I think that's something that is going to evolve and help these kids just with different puck handling skills in tight areas. And just developing, like we said, kind of touching on skills that you usually don't get to in those full ice situations.
For sure. Now let's talk other countries, leagues, and teams on the subject. We've seen half ice implemented in other places, and it looks like Canada's actually lagging behind the other countries when it comes to implementing small area development. USA Hockey's had it since 2014. Finland's implemented it with Teemu Selanne supporting it. We've had Czech Republic implementing it with Jaromir Jagr as a huge supporter. Russia, Sweden are all implementing this. Is Canada too far behind, or are we catching up now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Canada's too far behind. I mean, every year we still have success, at the World Junior level or at the Olympics or whatever the case may be. I think our success comes a lot from the passion for the game. And, I think that every year now there's, 4 or 5 or 6 countries that could win a gold all the time when you look at that World Juniors, whereas before Canada was in the gold medal all the time. So I think if we can start implementing small area games at a young age, I think it's going to help, our World Junior success and our Olympic success and all that stuff. And we can kind of get back to being the team that is always wanting to be or is always in that gold medal game. And, it's kind of funny. I actually I taught skating in Sweden for 5 years, and I'd go up there for a week, and I'd share the ice with a company called the Swedish Hockey Federation. And essentially what they did for a week is, we'd have a skate in the morning, and we were out there, with juniors and with pros. I mean, one of the guys that were out there was Ricard Raquel from the Anaheim Ducks. Just to give you an example, like, these aren't novice players, these are high-level players. And as I was working on skating at one end, for the full hour, they were playing 3-on-3, 2-on-2, 1-on-1. Everything was done in a tight area. And then, they'd go into a classroom and they'd actually break down what they were doing in the tight area. And to be honest with you, I can't tell you what they were talking about because I understand none of it.
Swedish wasn't fluent yet, right?
Not yet, no. So, but they were working on different ways to move the puck and where to put the puck and how to get around guys so they can't get the puck. And, I just think that that's extremely beneficial. And especially if we can teach that to kids at a young age so that when they do get up into the Pee-wees, Bantam, Midget, and so forth, they've already started those skills, and we're not trying to teach them, at midget AAA. They've got the puck protection. They're not trying to change their game from skating 200 feet with the puck, shooting and scoring. And, so you're right. I think that a lot of the countries have been doing it for a long time, and I think that's why they've maybe caught up to us a little bit. And I think with these changes, it's going to allow us to, again, kind of be the front runner at all these tournaments.
Great. Well, we've covered a lot of things in a short amount of time here, so I want to thank you guys for coming on to talk to us about novice half ice and athlete development.
Not a problem. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, take care, man.
And for more information on rules, regulations, and much more, head over to the SHA website at www.sha.sk.ca. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this installment of the SHA podcast. I'm your host, Jake Murray, and that was Novice Hockey.
This has been an SHA podcast presented by Direct West. The Saskatchewan Hockey Association, shaping character for life, more than a game.